Hey, was geht up? This is Max from Real Social Dynamics, chilling here in the beautiful Austrian Alps. And what you and me, my friend, are going to do in this video is we're going to go very, very deep on this notion of unworthiness. This is such an important part because we're all feeling that. And by we, I'm not referring to the POA community or the game people or whatever, but basically every person in the world. Not every person, that's obviously a massive overgeneralization, but in general, it's a very, very prevalent feeling, and I feel the urge that we gotta get very deep on this in order to understand it, and then in order to help it, okay, to get rid of it so we can have a better life, and it's a lot easier for us to approach and expand our horizons. And the reason why I want to do this video is I had a member of the Natural family on RSD Nation comment something very, very interesting, and I want to read it out to you here on my cell phone. Technology in the woods. And he said, I'm quoting, "I'm deeply struggling with the idea of exerting so much force on the flow of people's lives, literally misdirecting their paths or interrupting what they're doing. This stuff just isn't working for me. I know that for some reason I have a moral compass that isn't supporting my life, but I literally feel like shit when I game." And I get a lot of comments like these, and I personally can resonate very well to that. This whole notion of I don't want to impose myself on others. I don't want to interrupt their everyday life. And it's interesting because the basic thought pattern behind that is I'm taking something from them. By me approaching them, by me talking to a girl, or even just a random person in the everyday life or in a club, I'm taking something from them. I'm imposing my will on them. And if you follow that dark path, that negative thinking further, you're going to go to, okay, I have to trick them. I have to manipulate girls into coming with me, into believing that something good's happening, even though there isn't, right? And if you feel that, ultimately, you get it even further, like, oh yeah, I'm tricking them into having sex with them, right? And then someday they wake up and they realize that it was all a fraud. And again, that is very, very negative thinking. But what it also does, that whole notion of taking something from people, it creates extreme amounts of high pressure for you. And if you're feeling like, okay, shit, game sometimes is very high pressure for me. I can't bear it. I'm massively in my head. I'm over technicality. Okay, there's this over technicality happening. It puts you massively in your head. And I'm feeling so much pressure from the game because, again, you are thinking you're taking something from other people if you're imposing yourself on them. And the funny thing is our biological systems are created to be social. We are social human beings. We're supposed to move in tribes or in herds or whatever. And we have like an intrinsic block in our brain that is blocking us from doing something bad. Now, obviously, there's exceptions. There's murderers or whatnot. But we basically, a basic person has by default that block in their brain that says don't do something that is bad for people. And by you having to fight that block system in your brain, that is where this high pressure is created for you. That is where game becomes a chore because, again, try to follow me here. You're thinking you're taking something from people, which is something bad. Your internal block system says, okay, don't do something bad, don't do it. But you also, you watch RSD videos, and for whatever random reason, you want to do game. So you're trying to override that block system, and that is resulting in game being high pressure and coming across as a chore for you. And the general solution that is not the longevity solution here is over technicality. You're shifting your trust into game. You're like, okay, I have all these random thoughts. I'm massively in my head, and I just gotta get better game, more technicalities. And you're always inquiring, because many of you, my friends, are asking me or my instructor colleagues in RSD, like, what's the technique behind that? How can I say this? What do I say? It's all just like, what do I say? What technique is there? Over technicality, because you trust your game so much more than you trust in yourself. And that is not natural. That is not natural game. And what's interesting is that technique actually gets you laid. It can get you laid, it's no problem. But what it never does is it's never going to heal you. It's never going to get you on this journey. And it's never going to facilitate trust in yourself, which is ultimately what natural game is trying to teach you, trust in yourself. And like I said, you will flee into the arms of technique. You will get laid. And I remember that myself. I used to get laid enough from technique, and then something interesting would happen. girls would start saying things like, those would be girls that I would hang out for a long time, you know, my like girlfriends or fuck buddies, whatever. They would say things like, Max, why are you still wearing a mask? Why are you still all weird? Why are you still like trying to push certain buttons on me? Cool. Listen, we've been knowing for each other for months now. You're cool, okay? It's chill, relax. And I never understood that until I put much deeper thought into that. And there's this whole thing called the imposter syndrome. This is a term from psychotherapy and psychology. The imposter syndrome. Despite external evidence of their competence, those exhibiting the syndrome, which is the imposter syndrome, remain convinced that they are frauds. It's interesting, right? Because you're almost afraid of being exposed, of being the guy that knows game, right? Thoughts like, what if she finds out that I do game, right? What if she sees it in my browser history that I watched the RSD videos, right? What if they finally get to know that I was at a free tour, that I had to take a hot seat in order to become a cool guy, and all this shit, right? And again, despite the contrary evidence of people liking you, people hanging out with you, you even able to pull girls and stuff like that, or even have a girlfriend or a fuck buddy, you believe that it's not because of you believe that it's because of your game, because of the things you told her when you took her home and all this shit. And to a certain degree, yes, that's all right, that's true. You're able to spike the emotions, you're able to come up with a proper excuse so you can create that whole idea of the two of you walking home together and getting to know each other. Yes, that is to a certain degree, the rhetorics of game that can help you getting results in the short term. But in the long term, it's not going to help you, because I strongly believe that game, natural game, and ultimately RSD's teachings are supposed to make you become a better person, make you become a better man or a better woman, because there's a lot of girls watching now as well, which is kind of cool. So you need to understand that you need to switch the trust from game into trusting yourself. And the imposter syndrome is something very prevalent in the PUA community, that you're thinking it's just because of your game, that it was all a fraud. And if you do succeed in, getting the number, getting good reactions, or even having sex with a girl, you think that it was luck. You think that it was the good game that you were having. You think that it was your goddamn fucking state. And that is funny, because you're overestimating games so much. And to be honest also, you think that girls are like so easily manipulative, like you can trick them into having sex. Like, how retarded is that? Like, as if a girl would go home and have sex with you because your technicality is so good. Sure, again, technique can help you out a lot when it comes to expression, when it comes to doing the right things. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. But the ultimate core of why you're getting laid, if you're getting laid, or why you're getting the results, is because you put yourself through the journey of becoming a better person. Now, the thing is, technique is something very good in the beginning, because it gives you something to hold on to, right? Now, if I take a guy that has never approached a girl in his life, and I'm like, dude, just be cool, just be enough. He's like, but what do I say? And how's my body language going to look like? So I understand it that, the technicalities can help you out a lot. And this is also something I teach. I teach certain techniques, but those techniques are just some sort of, training wheels that you have on there, just so it gives you something to hold on to. So you go through the experiences first that ultimately shape your character, your inner character. So you're basically starting at the surface of your personality. You put technique into that surface. You're expanding it to a degree that it allows you to get in massive amounts of reference experiences. And then it kind of turns for 180 degrees, that expansion, and it goes back, and it penetrates the surface back into your very core, and then it's time for natural game. This is the exact way how I've been tackling the entire online course of The Natural. The Natural is my upcoming online course, and it basically deals with just that. It takes you by the hand, it takes any person that has nothing, and it creates something out of that nothing. Right? It creates those reference experiences, and before that it rewires your brain, and it gives you a couple things to hold on to so you can expand outside. And then ultimately, the more the online course progresses, it switches that direction, goes back, and ultimately gets your inner core, where game becomes effortless, where game is not pressure anymore, and where you get laid because of yourself and not because of game. But that's just a little excursus. Let's go back to that imposter syndrome, okay? So again, you believe that everything is fraud, and it must have been luck, and that people don't even like you because of you. it was luck that the girl didn't realize that you were tricking her, right? It's like, I just did the right things and she couldn't understand that I was actually taking something from her, and I just did it because I was at the right time. That's crazy. And then I got that from, I'm sorry that I'm staggering here like an idiot. I got that many times from students too. Things like, oh, blah, 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 I had a good set, and then the girl ran away. But before she did that, I tried to get the kiss close, right? Like, before she did that, I was able to slap her ass, right? I'm like, I weaseled myself in as much as possible before she realized the dark truth of what was actually going on, that was taking something from her. And it's crazy. And the further definition here is of what you can see in the Wikipedia article of the imposter syndrome is the following. Proof of success is dismissed as luck, timing, or as a result of deceiving others into thinking they are more intelligent and competent than they believe themselves to be. So that's, again, the basic definition here that is playing very, very well into our whole idea of the imposter syndrome, of feeling unworthy. So what we're going to do, you and me, my friend, here, is we're going to head down the valley a little bit, and we're going to go even deeper on why that is that you feel you can't make somebody else's day better, somebody else's night better, or somebody else's conversation better. What is the thought pattern? What is the very core that results in that very, very, I would almost say parasitical, if that's a word, parasite kind of thought patterns that is not going to help you out getting better with girls. So follow me. Okay, so to keep it as simple as possible, the truth behind why you're feeling like you're imposing yourself on others, why you're feeling like you're taking away something by approaching a cute girl or a group of people, is you believe you can't give them a good time because you are not able to give yourself a good time. Really, write it down. You can't give other people a good time, what you're thinking, because you can't give yourself a good time. So it's really this apathy in your life that leads to the disbelief in your ability of giving value. What do I mean by this apathy? It basically comes down to the very notion, are you happy in your life? Look at your life as it is right now. And the truth is, you don't have to be at the end of your journey. You don't have to have made it. You don't have to be rich in order to be happy. It is simply enough for you to be on that path. And if you are on that path, there is no more apathy, right? What is apathy? Apathy is the inability to take action, right? It's sitting on your couch, if you imagine that in a picturesque way. Sitting on your couch, eating potato chips, watching some fucking TV show, while dreaming of being rich and good looking and having a hot girlfriend and being ripped, right? That is apathy. You're dreaming about it. And your fucking dreams mean nothing if you're not taking action. However, let's say you're still a little bit chubby, you're not rich, but you're taking action. You're going to the gym every day. You're out there talking to girls, right? You're trying to get this hot girlfriend or the sex or whatever it is. You are building a brand, a business. You have none of the results yet, but you're on your path. And if you're doing that, what are you telling your internal system? What are you telling your brain? Listen, I'm taking action. I am making my life better. I am in the very process of getting where I want to be eventually in my life. And if you have that, apathy is gone. And then it's not a big deal for your brain to take that next step into thinking, okay, I actually can give value to other people. I can give them a good time because I am in the very process of giving myself a good time. So the moment you're apathetic, if that's a word, the moment there's apathy, you can't give other people a good time. So you, my friend, if you're having the feeling you're imposing yourself on others, work on yourself. Work on yourself so there's no more apathy, and you can believe you can give yourself a good time. And for your brain, it's just easy to conclude, okay, I can also give other people a good time. Now, obviously, that is the long-term solution, building a great life. And it will take a while, but it's, that's the thing, how life goes. And this is also something the natural will focus on so strongly, into this getting in the life that you want to have and knowing what you want to do and how to get there. And obviously, I also want to give you the more short-term solution, so you are already able to go out there and feel like you're giving value and feel like by approaching this person, I can make their everyday life better. I can make their gray everyday life a lot more colorful. And that is the following. Do not overestimate other people. By other people, I mean the sets you approach to girls, but also the people you're engaging with. Don't overestimate them, because if I gotta be honest, and if I'm like trying to get back in the mindset that I was in my beginning of the journey, I basically thought of other people like these like perfect robot AIs. You know, when you play a computer game and you know you're the only one that's steering a character, and all the other computer figures there are AIs, right? They have this perfect mathematical way of doing things. That's exactly what they want to, and you don't want to interrupt them, right? And also we tend to think that we're the only ones with a problem out there. It's so crazy. I used to think everybody's social. Everybody is easy with talking with other people. They are not stifled upon entering a room or getting on the fucking bus. I'm the only one who's like, oh my God, I'm in the fucking bus. Everybody's staring at me. Where do I sit down? Or I would enter a room and like, oh, they're all having a conversation. What am I going to do? And to be honest, it was so extreme that even when people would start laughing, I'm like, oh my God, they're laughing about me and blah, blah, blah. So I would project this perfect lifestyle onto people. And basically I projected the exact opposite of my life onto their life. I thought they don't have problems, they're not stifled, just something went wrong with me. You know, when God gave out the confidence, he forgot about me, right? That's what I thought. And then, you know, the more I did pickup and the more I started teaching pickup, I realized that, okay, even if people look pretty perfect from the outside, they're well dressed, they're especially pretty girls or jacked tall guys, they have their fucking problems. Everybody has their self-conscious moments. Everybody has their problems. Everybody's in their head. And everybody's going to be a little stifled when they enter a room full of strange people. And by having that empathy for them, it was also empathy for me. And I didn't judge myself that much anymore. I wasn't in that downward spiral of, oh my God, here I am, stifled again. Great job, Max. And, obviously I was down talking myself even more and even more and even more. And that didn't help with that whole notion. So that empathy and understanding that people are not these perfect AI human beings. No, they're just people as well. That helped me a lot more. And on top of that, what I want you to do, my friend, is realizing that everybody is sick and tired of their life. As funny as that sounds. If you see a beautiful girl walking down the street, even if she might look, busy or she's in a hurry, chances are very high that she has been walking this very road for a very long time, for a week, for a month, for years, right? Every time it's the same. People eat the same stuff. They watch the same TV shows. They are in the vicinity of the same people. They go to their same job. Usually people are not having this lifestyle where it's changing over and over again. So by you approaching them, you can bring a little bit of color in there. Something new happened. Like, oh, whoa, I've been walking this way all day, and this guy comes up to me, and he chats me up, and he throws a couple of jokes. And even if nothing's going to happen, or even if the girl is busy and she's like, sorry, go away, at least you showed them a little glimpse of a different reality. You showed them a little glimpse of, hey, your life, there's still hope for your life, for all of our lives, of spontaneity. It's not going to be this everyday gray mass for the rest of your lives. And people are craving for that. People want that stimulus, right? What do you want to do? You've been watching this video for a couple of minutes now. Just imagine how cool it would be if all of a sudden you would be like, tits! You're like, whoa, that was not expected. And even if it was tits that are not your type or whatever, you'd be like, okay, that's cool, right? That's why we want to watch action movies. That's why we're watching horror movies. Because, whoa, there's this jump scare, right? Oh my God, that's cool, right? Your emotions got spiked and you just want to break out of your everyday gray life. And you, my friend, are that possibility. You are one of those things that helps people break out of that. Do them that favor. And yes, not everybody's going to appreciate that. Some people are going to be like, sorry, get the fuck out. And that's cool. You can't be liked by everybody. And the sooner you realize that you can't be liked by everybody, the easier you'll be able to breathe and get yourself into those situations. And just as much as you shouldn't overestimate other people, you shouldn't underestimate you. Here's the thing, and RSD has played a very detrimental role in that. I think through the whole globalization, the internet, our YouTube videos, it has all brought us closer together, right? Now you're watching this video, even though we're in Austria, you might have never been here, and if you have, it's a pretty nice place, but it brought us together, and that's a good thing. However, it brought the really, really good people much closer to you, and you start comparing yourself to them. And what I mean by that is, you think like, okay, if I approach a girl and I don't make out right away, or I don't get the number like I see Max or Tyler or Julian or all the RSD people doing,
I'm worth nothing. And it's hard to reconsider that in your brain because, dude, we have all been doing this for years and it took us time. And where you're just starting out, you're setting the bar so high. And what does it do? Again, it puts pressure on you and it makes game this chore. And the thing that happens is if game becomes a chore and there's all this pressure on you, it is being reflected in your micro expressions, in your body language. It's not some aura that the girl is feeling that. It's basically just your micro expressions. And that way you're getting bad reactions. And then obviously you're trying to re-rationalize that into like, oh, that's because I was interrupting them. That's because I was imposing on them and stuff like that. And that's just this negative downward spiral that goes down further and further and further and further. So what I want you to do, because I did that and it helps a lot, is lower the bar, dude. Lower the fucking bar. Life is going to be so much easier. I'm not saying lower the bar in terms of where you want to get in your life. Have dreams, have high dreams, but lower the bar in terms of seeing it as a success and start celebrating the small successes. You have a mouth, you can talk, perfect, you're good to go. Your feet, you can walk up to the girl, perfect, you're good to go. In fact, one of my mindsets that we're embarking on in greater detail in the natural is the moment I said hi, I already won. I don't need to get the number, I don't need to get good reactions or a giggle from the girl. No, I don't care. The moment I said hi, I already won. Because I proved myself that I am indeed somebody who can bring value to other people. And because of that, I take the pressure off myself. And my micro expressions are a lot better. And it's a lot better to relate for people to me. And it's a lot easier for them to be in a good mood as well. Boom, all of a sudden, you gave value. And that, my friend, is no more downward spiral. It is an upward spiral. Because you realize, damn, I just gave value. Okay, maybe the next time I talk to a person, I could give value as well. And then you understand that slowly but steadily, alongside you taking action, giving yourself value by embarking on a great journey that it's going to make you become a better person, you realize, okay, it's all fucking good. So again, you need to eliminate the apathy in your life. Whatever it is in your life that you're unhappy with, be it relationships, game, fitness, money, take action. Start making your life a better life. You only live once, YOLO. Might as well start taking action, make it better. And only then you'll make it easy for your brain to say, hey, listen, I'm giving myself a better life. I can also give other people a better life. And then there is no more imposing feeling, and you can easily walk up to other people and feel that you can, in fact, give them value. And one last thing I want to say here, it's very easy for you to implement right away. Whenever you're facing yourself, whenever you're asking the question of, am I worthy enough? Do yourself the favor and ask a counter question. Why the hell not? Thanks so much for watching. Why the hell not? The only thing I ever wanted to do was becoming a musician. So I moved to Vienna to study music there at the conservatory in Vienna, which is a very highly prestigious conservatory. I was practicing like 8-9 hours a day, literally get up, play guitar, eat, go to sleep, and then repeat the whole thing. Until I woke up one morning and I had this like sharp burning pain in my left arm. I went to the doctor and they were like, you can never ever play guitar anymore. It's over. Like you shouldn't. You have tendinitis. That was one of the harshest times in my life because my dream has just been taken away from me. Like everything you've ever dreamed of, gone. I was so unhappy with my life. I had no more purpose, no more vision. I didn't know what the hell I'm gonna end up as. I came from such a dark place with that depression of where I wouldn't know what to do with my life. So I obviously go on Google and Google how to pick up girls. And I'm like, wait, you can learn this? And I was so excited about that I just started taking action. The first approach I ever did, like I still vividly remember that. She had long black hair, she had like a very petite, skinny body, and I saw her in the metro on the way home from university. And I'm like, oh my God, Max, you know all the things now, you gotta talk to her. I'm like, okay. So obviously I didn't do it in the metro because I was like, there's too many people. Wait, I can't just talk to the girl here. So I waited until she left and waited until it was her stop. Now, obviously, I got off at the same stop. Now, at the metro station, I couldn't talk to her because I was like, I can't do that. It's not the right moment yet. So I just like followed her through the streets of Vienna. I literally think I walked behind her for 30 fucking minutes. I was happy that apparently she had a long way from the metro to wherever she was going. And I was just like, it's not the right moment yet. It's not the right moment yet. It's not the right moment yet. Until she was crossing the street and I had this freak out / epiphany. I'm like, that was the right moment. I gotta talk to her. And there was like a big truck was coming and in the middle of the street, I'm like, excuse me, I think you're really beautiful. Maybe I could buy you a drink someday. And she was like, oh, that's cute. I have a boyfriend. I was like, oh, that's no problem. Thank you. And I walked away and I was like, this is the best thing in the world. I am the king. I just talked to a stranger. I was so fucking happy, man. I started to take more action, and I went to nightclubs and bars. And of course, I couldn't go there alone, so I still had my friends that were, 100% like me, never had any experiences. And they obviously didn't want to go out with me because they didn't have that spark ignited within them of taking action. So I did what I had to do. I got them drunk. Every night, so they would at least go out with me and then after 10 beers, talk to the friend of the girl I was trying to talk to. And I was soon okay, I need some pickup guys in my life that go out with me. So what I did was I went on the internet. That's it, Max. That's it. You're officially a weird person now. You're meeting somebody off the internet, a strange man, to go talk to girls with you. And you know what? It's funny because I would say 90% of those guys are now still my best friends. After a couple months of taking action, talking to girls, getting tons of rejections. And I remember I was going to a Papa Roach concert and I noticed this cute blonde girl behind the coat check. She was the coat check girl. She had a nice, beautiful blonde hair, beautiful fucking face. And I'm like, okay, Max, you gotta do the pickup thing again, so I roll up and I verbatimly said what I read somewhere. So this was not even like just me being a cool guy. I verbatimly said the lines hey, what's up, da 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 da. And I remember specifically her laughing. She was laughing a lot at my dumb jokes. And I remember the girl is laughing. I think that's a good sign. I think I read if the girl is laughing, you're on a good way. I'm like, okay, I think I should exchange numbers now. So I'm like, hey, you're cool, let's exchange numbers. And she's like, yeah, sure. We exchanged numbers. And I was like, oh my God, I got a number. This is the best day of my life. Of course, the first thing I did was looking up in the pickup books, what's the next thing to do after you exchange numbers with a girl? And I remember vividly, it said, call her, don't text her. Call her, don't text her. So I'm like, okay, I got it. So after 3 days of waiting, I called her. And I had it written down. I had the entire conversation written down, say this. If she laughs, say this. If she says no, say this. Everything fully planned, all ready to go. It rings. She picks up. Hello? I'm like, hey, what's up? This is Max. She's like, oh, hey, I'm in the car right now. Can I call you back? And I'm like, and that just completely threw me off my plan because I had the whole conversation mapped out, but no, what if she's in the car and I gotta call her back? So I'm like, I completely froze. And I called her again. I made her laugh and I invited her for a date. I think a week later, I had it scheduled for a week later. We meet for a date and I was like, this girl is coming there to meet me. I don't know. I just felt okay, this girl is so out of my league. Here I am, the dorky weird guy from the Austrian countryside, and I'm there with this stunner. Not a chance. I think we were sitting in there for 5 freaking hours in the same cafe, at the same spot. And I was like, Max, you gotta kiss her. And I was like, it's not the right moment. It's not the right moment. I'm gonna kiss her now. She just said something, So I remember I was going to the bathroom for the 5th time, washing my face with cold water. And I'm like, dude, you've been here for 5 hours now. You've had 6 coffees or whatever. You're gonna go there now. You're gonna sit next to her, lean in, and kiss her. It doesn't matter what's gonna happen. You're just gonna go and fucking do it. So I go back, and the girl's still sitting there, And I'm like, and she says something, I'm like, "Grr," and I go in for the kiss. The moment our lips touched, it was like this like fireworks of brain rewiring. Like I think that's like where my old self got like completely replaced. Like my old reality was like, okay, I can now officially talk to a random girl, exchange numbers with her, and then kiss her. This is the best thing in the world. I shall do nothing else for the rest of my life. Like, I was so mind blown. And I went back to the metro and I was standing there waiting for the metro. And then I noticed like another girl standing like next to me waiting for the metro, and she looked at me and our eyes met and I held eye contact. For the first time I held eye contact and she smiled at me and I'm like, this day just can't get any better. This girl just like, I kissed a girl and another girl smiled at me like, oh my God. And from that moment on I was just hooked. I went out every freaking day, talked to girls, day game, night game. A year later, I had several girlfriends. I've had massive amounts of reference experiences of you know, same night lays, of pulling, of going to all these dates. I had like this whole like rotation of girls. I had all these amazing wings. It felt like I was at home. I wasn't in this strange city anymore with no friends. I wasn't this loner guy. I wasn't this guy without a perspective. All of a sudden I was really like, okay, I was 20 years old and for the first time in my life, I felt like, damn, this is fucking life.